really pleased to have Chris Poore. I think everybody in Kingsport knows the accomplishments of this team, last year's team, and really a special group of young men. Chris is a special coach, played basketball and graduated from Tusculum. From there he began coaching at Jefferson, well, some other places, but Jefferson County before Dobyns. Bennett was fortunate to hire him the summer of 2017. And everyone I hope knows and is very proud, if you're from Kingsport, the state run last year and the results of bringing home a state championship 4A. That's the big guys. I mean, that's the teams from, not Mountain City, from Kingsport, Johnson City to Memphis that compete. And really high talent in the whole state. And Kingsport brought home the championship, which is amazing. Most recently, just last month or the month before, he was named the Coach of the Year from the Basketball Coaches Association, which is a high honor as well. Chris is married, have 2 boys in the school system. That's always good. And a girl that's 6 months old, and I'm sure she will be a contributing player in one of the sports as well as she comes through. But please welcome Chris and his group as they present.
Oh yeah, she very well could be. I know my oldest one probably will be. That's what he goes to football games for. That and some guy named Jonathan, whoever that is. But I want to thank you for bringing me out again. Thank you for Eric for reaching out. I always enjoy coming to this club because it's an active club. And when I say that, the participation is one thing, but I see a lot of members at a lot of our events. I see a lot of guys at football games. I see a lot of you ladies at basketball and football games as well. And that means a lot because it's not just that you're visible in a club, but you're also out there in the community doing some really good things. So thank you for that. I wanted to give a special shout out to the veterans. It is such an honor to see that number of people up here today. We have 2 veterans on our basketball team as well. Mark Cox has been with us forever. And Domingo Hale, another a coach of ours. So we have 2 members of our staff that are veterans as well. So thank you for your service. Coming off of last season, which was a whirlwind, we had obviously a very successful year, a year that couldn't be predicted per se as far as winning a championship, but I knew that the group of guys that we had was very special. We knew that they had been a part of our program since their freshman year. They were able to grow through the process, and they believed that they could play with anybody. We probably weren't the favorite. We weren't even the favorite when we got to the Elite 8. Out of the 8 teams that made the state tournament, they had picked us 6th. And we were able to knock off the one that they had thought would win it, which was Memphis Bartlett in the semifinal game. And I could talk for days. I could talk a long time and go into great detail about what that meant, what went into that, and all of that sort of thing. But instead, I want to go into the approach from winning that to what we're looking at now, because I think that's what's important. What's next? You know, we can look back and celebrate forever, but we won't have a chance to redo this season coming up. And we have a lot of guys that are hungry for success to come, and I want to make sure that we approach it with that mindset. And I'm very appreciative for the city, for the school system, for all of the things that they did to celebrate us, to show our guys. I know, and I can speak for each one of them, they are very appreciative and they're very thankful for the reception that they have gotten. And I think it's well deserved, but I want to make sure that that is known, that they are a group that doesn't take it for granted, and they're very appreciative for that. So moving on from last season, the first thing that went into my mind about with the coach is how do we prepare for a season when you never got that disappointing ending? You never got that loss that sort of motivates you to go one step farther. Leading up to that year, we had been to the sub-state 4 straight times. That was the most out of the state of Tennessee, other than Blackman, out of Murfreesboro. They've made it like 14 straight sub-states. We had made 4 straight sub-state appearances and got beat in all 4. One of them, there was a COVID year, but still we didn't get to advance. Motivation. And last year we broke through that, and then we just kept breaking barriers until we won the state championship. So after we won it, how do we motivate our players? How do we motivate our coaches to stay hungry? And one thing kept coming through my mind is a quote that I had heard for one of my motivating quotes growing up as a player, is that success breeds complacency, and complacency breeds failure. And I, as a player, I was motivated by fear, the fear of failure. I was motivated by, if I take a day off, somebody else is working. And it was draining to be that type of person, to be motivated that way. Didn't match my personality. And it wasn't until this summer when I was talking to other coaches. I talked to Coach Quarles over at ETSU. He had won 11 maybe state titles, multiple back-to-backs. Jody Wright out of Fulton won 3 back-to-backs. How do you stay hungry? How do you keep your players that are coming back hungry for success? And, they would tell me their tidbits and give me some advice on what they do. And it basically was, well, you don't want to have a setback. You don't want to have an opportunity slip by, or you have new guys in your and everything to me was the old philosophy, sort of reminded me of Bobby Knight's coaching style, where you try to avoid mistakes. You try to avoid setbacks. You try to avoid failure. And again, it wasn't resonating. That's not me. I'm not going to basketball practice and working hard because I might fail if I don't. To me, that's not rewarding. And I started to find out what motivates me. And it's these guys right here. And specifically what motivates me is when Brady Stump sends me a text on a Saturday afternoon where he dunked it for the first time at the Y over here in Kingsport. And first of all, I'm trying to figure out how in the world this kid dunked it at the Y and who's in charge of that facility. We probably need to check those goals, Cup. And or I'm getting a message from Coach Baker where Eli's got 4 and 5 post players in the gym with him on our day off, working them out like he's their big brother. Or I get Broderick, Jonathan's dad, text me pictures of him at the Boys and Girls Club in Greenville getting up shots on a Sunday morning before they go to church. Or it's Dante in the gym at 6 a.m. yesterday asking if he can get some more work in. That's what motivates me as a coach, and that's what pushes me to work harder. And this offseason was treated no differently as the past ones that had a setback or had an upsetting last game. I approached it, and my coaches approached it as a way, how do we get the most out of this group? Last year's group was fun. It was a great run. But we owe these guys a little bit as well. They're going through their senior year, so we owe it to them to give them our best shot. And I am super excited. I found out a lot about our players because I had the same question I had about myself, how to approach this season. I had it about them. These guys broke records. They set state tournament records. They did something that hasn't been done in a long time. Are they going to be complacent? Are they going to enjoy that? Are they going to work? And it was quickly found out that the ones that worked up to this point continued doing what they've always done. And the ones that didn't really put in a lot of effort up to this point sailed off into the sunset and enjoyed the victories. And, there's I guess it goes both ways. We're bittersweet about some guys not coming back for this team. But I think that this team in particular has a lot of upside, and I'm very, very excited about what this group can do this season. And that's what I want to highlight on today is where this group can go. I'm going to introduce these seniors because they're going to be a big part of our program. I'm going to start with Eli up here. You can come on up here. I'm going to let each one of them say a few words, and then we'll have plenty of time for questions, I hope. Eli was a junior in our program last year. Eli was a big piece of our team, even though you didn't see a lot of action out of him in the games. Every day his attitude was beyond excellent. His energy in the games, contagious. On the bench, if he wasn't getting minutes, he's the hype man. He's doing the dances or whatever goofy things he might want to demonstrate for you in a minute. He's got some good moves that's quite entertaining. But This guy's one of the reasons that we're going to be extremely successful this year. He has taken last year's experience, and I think he's getting confidence through teaching younger guys. And he's going to have an amazing senior season. Even though he looks like he's banged up, that's just a decoy. That'll be off in a week or two, and he'll be back with us. But I've been more proud of him than anybody as far as what he's been able to do to work to get a big spot. And he's going to help us along the way as well. Dakari, I'll bring you up. This is the knucklehead that took last year off. Yeah. He's missing out on one of these things right here is what he's doing. Dakari is one of my all-time favorites. He's a straight competitor. You saw that on the football field this year. I love Dakari. He played for us as a freshman, as a sophomore. Let some people talk him out of it last year. And I think he missed it quite a bit. He is going to be somebody that we rely on to give us some energy, some defensive toughness, and just competitiveness, and hopefully give us a mismatch if teams try to run with us. Which I'll give you, somebody made a comment about being small or the short guys, which I have a good story. We went to CPA last year, went to a Christmas tournament in Nashville and got grilled over not being the Arby's. But I felt like it was a better opportunity for us because we got 3 competitive games. We got to play Brentwood Academy, which is number 1. They lost 1 game last year in the private school division. We got to play CPA on their court in their tournament. And if you remember last year, I told our guys there's a reason they picked us to play in the first game because they thought they were going to beat us. CPA could really score the ball. And before the game, they were in the bathroom and in a common area, and they were kind of laughing at our guys and say, "Oh, the Little Indians are here. Oh, the Little Indians. Oh, okay. We're going to put it on the Little Indians." Well, them Little Indians put 108 points on those jokers and left the gym with the last laugh. And their coach came up after the game. He said, "Coach, my goodness, your guys can score." I said, "Yeah, them Little Indians aren't too bad, are they, Coach?" He said, "Oh, you heard our guys talk?" I said, "Yeah, Coach, we heard." He goes, "Well, I don't think no hard feelings. Just enjoy that little setback." But anyway, that was a pretty good setback. Brady Stump. Brady Stump is a familiar name. He's a 4-year starter here. Has been a 3-time All-Region player, likely to be 4-time. Probably never a player in DB's history as a 4-time All-Region. All-State tournament team is one of the primary reasons we won the first game in the Coffee County in the state tournament. And my favorite story about Brady is the fact that the story was out on DB, how to beat DB, going through the district and the region tournament. We know how to upset him. We know how to beat him. And it's to take that joker out of the game. Deny him the ball, try to do this, do that to Brady. And Brady's like, "Okay, coach, they're trying to keep me from catching. Just put me over here in the corner, and I'll just kind of be a decoy." So they put their best defender on Brady, and then took the best defender off the floor. No one should have known. We had 4 or 5 other guys that could get the job done. And Brady basically took a back seat leading up to the state tournament. And didn't force it, didn't try to push the issue. And then the first game of the state tournament, Brady erupts for 27, 28 points, and absolutely torched Coffee County. And I don't think they saw that coming because when we started the game, they weren't denying Brady. They were denying Jack and trying to take the other player out of the game. So Brady has been a tremendous player, will continue to be, and very excited about him and his career. Jonathan is a phenomenal scorer, can shoot the absolute cover off the ball, will hold several records at DB, 3-point makes in a career, 3-point maybe makes in a season. He holds a state tournament record for 3-point percentage in a state tournament game. He was 5 for 5 against Bartlett when he dropped 30. He's also a big reason we won that first game. Our Super Juniors last year propelled us to get past the jittery game. These guys don't get bug-eyed. They don't get in the biggest moments. They don't back down. They compete, and they're a fun group of kids. And he's also played for 4 years. Also a 3-time All-Region player, which is pretty special. So excited about what they have done for us. Dante is a new face to our program. Dante Oliver, you've probably seen him all over the news the past few days. Just got to fulfill his dream of playing college basketball. He's going to be going to play at ETSU. So for us Buccaneer fans, we get to see him play for hopefully several years locally. Dante is a tremendous player coming to us, immediate impact and immediate mesh with our guys. Personality-wise, he's just like he's been here all along. And on the court, he is a leader. He is vocal. He sets by example. He's a 6 a.m. type of player. He's a guy that shows up and gets extra work in. And while he's there, he goes extremely hard. So he's been able to do some things for us since he's been here that I'm very excited for. So he's a little bit of background on him. His dad is a coach at ETSU. And a lot of people look at that and say, oh, he's going to play for his dad. I think that's an absolute dream for a coach. It's not only sign a tremendous player, but to sign your son. And Dante wasn't sold on where he wanted to go play, had a lot of opportunities to go to different colleges and did his due diligence, went on visits, did his research, talked to different people. He didn't make a rash or quick decision. And actually, I think it was up until late he decided to change that. All along, he thought he was going to go off and do his own thing. And then I think reality set in that he came back home this year, was around his family, and he's got a tremendous family, a lot of support. Young brother, mother, and father are all very supportive of what he does, so he gets to play and live at home as well. So it's a pretty special opportunity he's got ahead of him. So he's one you want to follow, and I'm very excited that he's here. So these are our seniors. These guys, I think, have a very high upside. You probably want to know about the style a little bit. Very similar to last year in the pace of play and the way that we're going to space the floor and move it with a lot of different actions. A little bit different in the fact that we don't have a five that's going to step out, but a five that's going to be a true paint scorer, but also very athletic to get out and defend the basketball and play fast on the defensive end as well. So I think it's going to be an exciting team. I think we can score the ball at the same clip we did last year. We were third in the state in points per game at 77 points a game, and for high school that's pretty remarkable. We shot 39% from the three, and a lot of that was due to some guys that shot 43, 42, and 39% themselves. So excited about this season. We have a lot to look forward to. The facility that I know Mr. McReynolds has really helped out and the city has helped out with as well. We're very excited about playing at our new facility, the TAC. I think the atmosphere will give us a different feel for home court, and I hope that we see you guys out there because I think we're going to hear your voice a little bit better in this new facility. It's going to be quite a season to follow, and we host all the tournaments. We have the district tournament, we have the region tournament, and if you win that, you'll have the sub-state as well. So we could play a lot of games right here in Kingsport before we get our ultimate hopes up for what's to come down the road. I'll pass the mic down, let them talk just a little bit about themselves and introduce themselves.
I'm Eli Day, and I grew up in Knoxville, moved here to Kingsport, and it's been an amazing journey being on Dobyns' basketball team. Last year was amazing. And one day I hope I get to go to UT and pursue pharmacy. But it's been amazing, and thank you all for supporting us.
I'm Dakari Dixon, and I grew up in Kingsport, and I regret quitting last year. And I'm excited to get back on the court again.
I'm Brady Stump. I was born and raised in Kingsport, Tennessee, and I plan to play college basketball somewhere and just go the business and finance route.
I'm Donovan Gillespie. Play football and basketball. I'm a senior. My dad coaches at Greenville, so I'm back and forth from Kingsport to Greenville, and excited to play this year.
I'm Dante Oliver. I'm from really everywhere. It's been coming to Kingsport and Dobyns Bennett. I feel like I've been really welcomed by the community. I really feel like I'm really it's a new home for me, and I love being here. It's been amazing for me so far, and I'm just excited to try to help DB go back to back and get another ring.
I'm Eli Day, and I grew up in Knoxville, moved here to Kingsport, and it's been an amazing journey being on Dobyns' basketball team. Last year was amazing, and one day I hope I get to go to UT and pursue pharmacy, but it's been amazing, and thank you all for supporting us.
I'm Dakari Dixon, and I grew up in Kingsport, and I regret quitting last year. And I'm excited to get back on the court again.
I'm Brady Stump. I was born and raised in Kingsport, Tennessee, and I plan to play college basketball somewhere and just go the business and finance route.
I'm Donovan Gillespie. Play football and basketball. I'm a senior. My dad coaches at Greenville, so I'm back and forth from Kingsport to Greenville, and I'm excited to play this year.
I'm Dante Oliver. I'm from really everywhere. It's been coming to Kingsport and Dobyns Bennett. I feel like I've been really welcomed by the community. I really feel like I'm really it's a new home for me, and I love being here. It's been amazing for me so far, and I'm just excited to try to help DB go back to back and get another ring.
I'm sure there's questions.
Well, last week you were talking to me about you're going to do the first few of your home games at the Sevier Gym. Could you tell the crowd about that?
Our home opener will be next Tuesday, November 15th. We're going to be playing Hampton at Sevier High School, which is now the Sevier Middle School. Our facility is not quite ready. It'll be ready for our home opener on, I think it's December the 15th. So our first home opener is going to be at the former high school, Sevier, and we're going to try to do a throwback tribute to that as our first, or where the high school originated. So it's a pretty cool twist on this season as well.
Michael Jim.
Yeah.
How tall are your little Indians?
Okay, just go right down the list. How tall are you? I'm 6'3".
I'm 6'8".
I'm 5'8".
I'm like 5'9".
I'll say I'm like 5'9", 5'10".
6 foot.
I'm 6'5".
Yeah, when you look at him, Dante is a 6'5" point guard. Brady is our point guard for 3 years, and we'll do a lot of that again this year. We rotate our guards quite a bit. Most of what we do is put guys in spots. So last year we had a guard as a 5. 2 years ago I had our best shooter on the team I labeled as a 5. We don't really look at the traditional way of assigning guards and posts. We're all interchangeable. All these guys are athletes, and they can put the ball in the hole. So we just put them in spots and assign a number however it be.
Coach, what makes up the rest of your team? What makes up the rest of your team as far as class?
Okay, well, we actually have a pretty good gap between our seniors and our sophomores. We have a couple juniors. Some of them have not proven they can contribute yet. We have, I think, 3 on our roster. 2 of those I expect to get some minutes. One of them, I think, Charlie McHugh, will be a really good player for us. He's a Kingsport kid, went to Sevier, and he's had a good career so far. He'll be in that junior class, hold the fort down. Outside of that, we have a really, really strong sophomore and freshman class. We have 2 6'7" sophomores. They're not as tall as you are. They're about 6'7". That's Major Dawson and Connor Godsey. Both of them will be ready by the end of this season. They're not ready yet, but they're going to be on the roster. They're going to get some minutes. Peyton Franklin's a sophomore that's ready. He'll give us some help at this guard position, rotating in. Who else? We have a freshman, Zayden Hayes, that'll get on the roster, but he's a freshman. He's weak. He's not ready for varsity action, but I do think that he's skilled enough to help us in a lot of regards. We also have another sophomore, Jaleel Ali. Jalil's a Kingsport kid who is very talented. He's just not ready for major minutes yet. But I say that we have 5 sophomores and a freshman that'll get a lot of minutes. A lot of minutes when they get to rotate in when the game is in hand, and I expect that we carry on and bridge that gap of our junior class.
Other questions?